Hello everyone. Now we are going to be embarking on a very interesting topic. Today we are going to be looking at the chemistry of carbon compounds, which is known as a very big branch of chemistry, that is organic chemistry. Now organic chemistry is basically a study of carbon compounds, which extends to our understanding of all the chemical reactions in living organisms and all the products that are derived from them. There are a lot of different examples of organic chemistry in our everyday life. Some of the examples of organic compounds which are applicable to our daily lives include polymers like PVC, cellulose, nylon. These are all organic compounds. Petroleums, which are derived from crude oil or petrol. Okay? Petrochemicals, they are separated by fractional distillation, giving off different types of organic molecules. Apart from this, cosmetic industry is the biggest booming industry in the world today. Most of the chemicals which are used in cosmetics, such as alkenes, alcohols, and even fragrances, they all derive from organic molecules. So let's look at the very basic skeleton of an organic molecule, which is known as hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are those compounds which are made of two very important atoms, such as carbon and hydrogen atoms. We will be looking at two different types of hydrocarbons, and these are aliphatic and aromatic. Aliphatic compounds can be one of the four types. They can be linear, where carbon atoms are bonded to each other in a long chain. They can be cyclic, where the carbon atoms bond with each other in a cyclic structure. Saturated, where the bond between carbon atoms is single, or they can be unsaturated, where the carbon to the carbon bond can be double or a triple bond. In contrast to this, hydrocarbon can also be aromatic. The word aromatic originates from the word aroma, which means smell. So the organic compounds which are aromatic in nature, they will have a distinctive smell to them. And we will be looking at just one example of this aromatic organic compound, such as benzene. Benzene is a liquid. We will be looking at this later on. And this liquid is consisting of C6H6 molecule. That means 6 carbon and 6 hydrogen atoms. So benzene formula is C6H6. Any compound that contains a benzene structure is known as an aromatic hydrocarbon. So let's look at the different types of hydrocarbons now and their associated examples. The first one, which is aliphatic hydrocarbon, that we have already briefly described on that. Aliphatic can be linear or they can be branched. They can be cyclic in nature, which means they can either be saturated or unsaturated. Some of the examples of aliphatic hydrocarbon that we will be looking at in this course are alkane, alkene, alkynes. These are saturated and unsaturated examples of hydrocarbons. So if you're looking at these examples, you can see now butane, the carbon to the carbon, you can see that carbon bond is single here, so that is saturated. But1ene, you can see that there is a double bond here, and that double bond makes but1ene a unsaturated molecule. Aromatic hydrocarbon, which I have talked about briefly as well. One example that we are going to be looking at is benzene. So the building block, the original foundation of an aromatic hydrocarbon is a benzene structure, which means any molecule consisting of C6H6 is a benzene ring. Benzene ring can be represented as such, as you can see in this picture here. So you can see in this particular molecule, there are 6 carbon atoms, 6 hydrogen atoms, and 3 double bonds. Now we are going to be looking at the different kind of hydrocarbons that we are going to be studying in this particular course. So the very important thing that we have to understand is this here. How we are going to differentiate each organic compound from the next. Now if you're looking at alkane, please note the functional group of each of the organic molecule. Alkanes consist of a single bond and the name of the alkane is going to end with ANE. So there will be something ANE. Alkene will have a double bond where the name ends with -ene. Alkyne has a triple bond, name ends with -ine. So alkyne has a single bond, that means it is saturated. Alkene, alkyne have a double and a triple bond, that means they are unsaturated molecules. Alcohol have a functional group which is OH group. The functional group is a group in the molecule that takes part in a chemical reaction. So in alcohol, if it has to take part in a reaction, it is a OH group that is going to change. So the name of the alcohol is going to end with the -ol. Then we look at carboxylic acid. The mention of the word acid should tell you that this is a proton donor. An acid is anything that donates a proton. So the functional group of an acid is COOH, which means it is a carbonyl group. And the name is going to end with anoic acid. Likewise, if you look at another one which is ester, please make a note of the way the name is ending with -ile anoate. So we are going to be looking at some different examples of these organic compounds throughout the lesson. But the important thing is you should be able to compare and contrast the different kind of organic molecules from each other. Now we look at the prefixes. Prefix is a word that we are going to add in front of the main word. Now if any organic compound is consisting of one carbon atom, we use a prefix -meth. For 2 carbon atoms, it is -eth. 3 carbon atoms, -prop. 4 carbon atoms, -but. 5 is -pent. And 6 is -hex, and so forth. And then, apart from that, this is something very important that we have to also remember. Sometimes, in the organic compound, there may be other atoms apart from carbon and hydrogen. Now, if the atom is a halogen, then you are going to put an O at the end. Like chlorine will become chloro, bromine will become bromo, and so forth. But if in the carbon and the hydrogen group, there is another set of alkyl group. When I talk about alkyl group, I am talking about a carbon-hydrogen group on its own. So if there's a carbon-hydrogen group on its own attached to the main group, that group is given the name with -while. Okay, we are going to be looking at these examples in a while. So we have seen this definition. Saturated molecules are those which is having single bond, and here each carbon will have maximum number of bonds. While homologous series is where each member is different from the next by a CH2 group. Isomers, these are molecules which have the same molecular formula but different structural formula. So now let's look at the definitions of each of these terms and try to understand them in depth. So we start off with isomers, where organic molecules have the same molecular formula but different structural formula. So this year we're going to be looking at 2 major types of isomers, structural and stereoisomers. Stereoisomers are geometrical isomer, and structural isomer we are going to be looking at skeletal isomer. So let's look at the 2 types of isomers. This graph, diagram basically summarizes the different types of isomers and how we can differentiate between them. First of all, let's look at what a structural isomer is. In a structural isomer, there are different carbon skeletons. Okay, what it basically means is this here. Let's look at this example where the formula is C4H10. That means there is a compound which has 4 carbon and 10 hydrogen atoms. You can arrange these atoms in a various number of ways. For example, we can arrange these atoms by placing the carbon atoms one after the other, like this here. We will put carbon atoms one after the other. Now, it is very important at this stage to remember the chemistry of carbon. Carbon is in group 4. That means it is going to require 4 electrons to become stable. In other words, it means carbon is going to need 4 electrons. Anything that needs electrons will be sharing electrons. So since carbon is needing 4 electrons, it is going to share 4 electrons, which means it is going to form 4 bonds. So in short and simple, number of electron needed is equal to the number of electron that is going to be shared, which is equal to the number of bond that an atom is going to form. So because carbon is needing 4 electron, carbon will always have 4 bonds. While hydrogen, on the other hand, is in group 1 and it requires only 1 electron to become stable. Therefore, hydrogen will form only 1 bond. So whenever you are drawing organic molecules, draw the carbon atoms first, one after the other. The rest of the bond is going to be occupied by the hydrogen atoms. So because we said carbon should have 4 bonds, let's look at the first carbon we drew. With this carbon, we already have drawn 1 bond. It requires 3 more bonds, which is going to be occupied by the hydrogen. So you can see now the first carbon has 4 bonds altogether. 1, 2, 3, and that's 4. Let's look at the second carbon. So the second carbon has 2 bonds, one here and the second one. So it requires the other 2 bonds, which is going to be formed by the hydrogen atoms. Likewise for the third one and then the last carbon. So this is how the organic compound can be arranged. 4 carbon, 10 hydrogen can be arranged in this way. So because there are 4 carbon atoms, the prefix we use is but, and because the structure is containing carbon hydrogen only, it is an alkane. Name is going to end with ANE, so that is butane. Now if I have to draw this C4H10 in a different way, I am going to, instead of drawing 4 carbon atoms, I am going to draw 3 carbon atoms. So I am going to draw 3 carbon atoms. Okay. The 4th carbon atom, I am going to remove it and put it in the middle. So that's how I am going to position the 4th carbon. Now, why did I write CH3 here? Because if I put the carbon here, then that carbon will require 3 more bond. Okay, and that 3 bond will be formed by the 3 hydrogens. So CH3 in short form. Then we look at this carbon here. It already has 1 bond. It requires 3 more, and that will be formed by the hydrogen atoms. Okay, so that is another way of drawing this particular molecule. You can see that the molecular formula is the same, right? But the structural formulas are different. So this particular compound that I have drawn now is not butane because the 4 carbon atoms are not in a single line. They are not in a straight line. This is containing a parent chain. Parent chain is where there is a long chain of carbon atoms. So you can see this group that I have circled here has maximum number of carbon atoms. How you determine the parent chain? Get 1 carbon, right? Keep on going to the next carbon until you meet the last carbon. Now you can see I've gone in one particular direction and I covered 3 carbon atoms in the process. Way is I can start with this particular carbon here, right? That's carbon 1. So I keep going until I come to the last carbon. So my last carbon is this one here. I can go in any direction as long as I don't reverse. Okay, so in which carbon atoms that is going to be that I am going to cover. So this is becoming the parent chain. So 3 carbon atom, the prefix we use is pro, and because the carbon and hydrogens are all in a single bond, the name ends with ANE, propane. Alkane, remember, has carbon-carbon single bond, so propane. Now you can see attached to the propane apart from the hydrogen, because hydrogens are part of the propane. Okay, so apart from the hydrogens, what else do you see attached to the propane? Okay, you can see that there is a CH3 group, and this CH3 group is called a branch. So if you refer to the previous discussion I did just a while ago, if there is a branch made of carbon hydrogen, it is called an alkyl group. Alkyl means it is containing carbon and hydrogen group. So this alkyl group is a branch, and the prefix is meth because it's one carbon, but because it is a branch, the suffix is going to be ending with YL. So it is called methyl. Now you can see I put 1, 2 and 3 there. The 1, 2 and 3 basically is how you number the parent chain. You have to number the parent chain. Now which carbon is methyl falling in? Methyl is falling on carbon number 2. So the name of this particular molecule is 2-methyl propane. See that now? One compound with a similar molecular formula but two different structural formulas. This is what structural isomer is. Once again, in a structural isomer, you just remove the carbon atom and try positioning it elsewhere. So in that way, you're shifting the position of the carbon atoms. Okay? The next kind of isomer that we are going to be looking at is called a stereoisomer. There are two types of stereoisomers, but at year 12 level, we are going to be studying only one, which is called a geometric isomer. Geometric isomers are also known as diastereomers. So what is a geometric isomer? This is because there is a double bond between carbon atoms. So in brief, we can say geometric isomer exists when there is a carbon-carbon double bond. But not all carbon-carbon double bonded molecules have geometric isomer. Okay? Now the reason why geometric isomer exists for a carbon-carbon double bond is because the carbon-carbon double bond cannot rotate easily, which is why it cannot be broken easily. Geometric isomers are given special names. They are called cis or trans isomer. So now let's look at this example here. You can see this particular molecule is containing a double bond. Question is, even though there is a double bond here, will this particular molecule have a geometric isomer? So to answer the question, we are going to be looking at this particular carbon atom here. Each carbon in the double bond must have two different groups. So this particular carbon that I am pointing out here is having a Br group and a hydrogen group. So because there is a Br group and a hydrogen group, we can say that there will be a geometric isomer. Now notice the Br group's position. The two Br atoms, they are on the same side of the double bond. So it is known as a cis isomer. Use the sound to remember. Same sounds like cis. Okay, so two same groups on the same side, it's a cis isomer. Let's look at another example here. So we have to figure out first, will there be a geometric isomer in this molecule or no? So look at this carbon atom that is in the double bond. In this carbon, there are two different groups. One is a H, one is a Br. Likewise for this carbon here, there's a Br and there's a H. Look for two same groups and where they are. So we look at either hydrogen or bromine. Bromine, I'm going to pick bromine because it's a bigger atom. So we have bromine here and this other bromine which is on the opposite side. So you can see here the same groups are on the opposite side. So this isomer is called a trans isomer. Okay, so students, well, for today we are going to be looking at up till here. In the next part of the lesson, we are going to be covering the different kind of organic compounds, starting with alkanes and their chemistry behind it. So until then, students, you have to go over the video and try doing the exercises that are given in your notes. You have to take care, keep revising your work, and we will meet in the next session. Bye.